Hi guys, today we have a highly requested video on my channel, and it is a video that I feel like every SkyTuber has to do at some point. This video was requested to me by Lady Seal 97, and the video idea is my top 10 favorite Skylanders. So let's get right into it. Enjoy! My 10th favorite Skylander is Double Dare Trigger Happy. So with Double Dare, I think that he, in my opinion at least, is an improved version of the original Trigger Happy, who is already a great Skylander. What I think that they improved about him was he kind of had a dull attack in the original Trigger Happy version with like the gold pot being thrown, which was improved with the cannon. I think that the cannon attack is really cool. That's my opinion personally. I also do like his rings, his fiery rings. That's really cool. And yeah, his design is also really cool. I like that they have him wearing the white and orange clothes. I don't know what it is specifically supposed to be, but it is really cool. And yeah, so he's my number 10 pick. Okay, so my 9th spot is Robo. So Robo is a Skylander that probably most of you guys who are watching this video don't have. I'm lucky enough to have a Robo, but if you're wondering how to get your hands on a Robo, I made a video, how much does it cost to complete your Skylanders collection today, and that went in depth a small bit about NFC cards and how to use them. So if you want to check that out, that probably would help anyone who doesn't have a Robo out at least be able to play as Robo. But on to the actual Skylander. His attacks are really powerful. Like, he's definitely one of the most powerful Skylanders. His bow attack is pretty standard, although I do like that he can use it while he jumps, which is really cool. His laser eye attack is also really cool. And my favorite attack of his is the one where he goes into a spiny ball, like a spiky ball, and rolls around. Like, that is really cool, and I wouldn't expect him to have used that attack. As for his design, I also think it's really cool. Like with the Robin Hood design, I really think that Robo is just a cool Skylander, and so that's why he's my number 9 slot. So my number 8 slot goes to Washbuckler. So Washbuckler was a swapper Skylander in Swap Force. He came in the starter pack, and I think that he is still my favorite swapper today. So what I like about him is really his design. Being an octopus is really cool. I think the octopus and pirate is really cool. And I also do like his attacks with his top attacks are probably the weaker of his two, but I think that they're still good. With his bubbles and the sword are really cool. And then his bottom attacks with the tentacles and like being able to like blurt ink, like that is really cool. Like that is really strong. Like him and Blast Zone swapped are really cool. Him, honestly, the bottom of Washbuckler with any of the swap forces swapped are really useful. And so yeah, so Washbuckler is my number 8 slot for that reason. And my number 7 slot goes to Pop Fizz. So Pop Fizz is one of the most famous Skylanders, so he's definitely one of the most recognizable, introduced in Giants and getting a Light Core, a Series 2, a Series 3, and making an appearance in Skylanders Academy. So, but I'm not going to count in the Skylanders Academy part, obviously. This is about the actual gameplay, not the characters. But anyway, Pop Fizz is really cool. I love a Skylander that can take one attack and change it up multiple times, which he does with his potions when he can shake them, and he can do, I believe it's the poison is the green, the orange I think is just damaging, and then the purple is like he spawns other little mini potions. And the beast form is really cool. I do like that with his Series 3, like he starts out as the beast form, I believe, which is really cool. And yeah, the beast form is really cool attack as well. So yeah, Pop Fizz is just really, I like that he is just so many like different types of attacks, and like the variety is really useful. And his design is pretty cool. I like the beast form design better than the main design, but you know, he's a pretty cool Skylander. In my number 6 slot is Rocky Roll. So Rocky Roll was introduced in Trap Team, and he always caught my eye, and I actually didn't have him until about a year ago. And then I started to use him. His attacks are insane. And that's really the main reason I'm putting him up here, because his design is really cool, and that really helps him out. But for a lot of my basings of this video was due to the attacks, and his attacks are really overpowered. So the one attack where he could just spit out boulders, that's just his generic attack. That's regular. But the one where he can gather up boulders basically and use them as a shield like that attack is my favorite to use. Maybe of any Skylander attack ever. It's a really good attack. And I really haven't mastered the one where he bounces on the boulder. I really don't understand how that works 100% yet, but I'm learning it. And honestly, Rocky Roll is just a really cool Skylander. The concept of him is really interesting. So that's why he is my number 6 slot. And in my number 5 slot is Whamshell. Whamshell was in the original game, and he was one of the rarest, actually is the rarest Skylander that you could find from the original game. He is really cool design. I like that he has the mace, and he's like a crustacean, which I really enjoy, like crustacean Skylanders. And he is like basically the only one, but I like reptilian kind of like under the sea Skylanders, which is basically the water element. Now that I'm thinking about it, but anyway, his attacks are really cool. The mace, like I say, his primary is just basic primary attack, just throwing, doing like a mace attack, and then he also has just other attacks regarding his maces. He has like a shock kind of deal with him, like that's a bit of his Skylander, which I mean, I'm okay that they introduced that, but it was kind of seemed like it was more Zap's thing with the shocking, and it kind of seemed like a bit weird that they also introduced it to Whamshell, but it is okay, and I do like Whamshell. I like the extra armor that they added onto him, and his light core is one of the coolest figure designs, even though the light core is not that good. Like with the lighting up portion, the actual design of the figure is really cool. In my number 4 slot is Zook. Zook is another Skylander from SSA. He's of the life element. What I really like about Zook is just how underrated he is, and that's why he's so far up on my list, is because nobody really rates Zook as high as they should. I feel like he doesn't get a lot of credit. He's probably one of the most forgotten life element Skylanders. Maybe not as much as Zulu per se, but he's really underrated. His attacks are just mainly with his bazooka, with the exception of one, which I'll get to. But his primary is just a regular bazooka blast, as most of the Skylanders on this list are, just a regular primary attack. And then he also has an attack where he basically can launch his bazooka, kind of almost like sniping a Skylander, not a Skylander, an enemy. And his other attack is like basically a fungus shield. I think it might start out as bamboo and level up to fungus. I'm not sure if that's the right order, but it's one of those two orders that it levels up to a different like plant. But it's basically used as a shield, so he can kind of almost use that and barricade himself in there, and then use like the sniping thing to take out enemies, which I really have tried to use, and it's a really cool like thing to do. So yeah, that's why Zook is number 4 on my list. And taking the bronze on my list is Double Trouble. So Double Trouble is by far my favorite Skylander to use in SSA. He's the most overpowered Skylander, period, in my opinion. I think that his attack where he can use his staff magic and just like stick on an enemy is just too overpowered, but I love it at the same time. And his other attacks, I honestly don't even really use them that much. I kind of just spam that one. It's different, where his primary attack is like the really good attack. His one where he kind of summons up and he gets like slams of energy or whatever is going on there, that's also a decent attack. And the one where he summons his like little like Double Trouble babies is, I don't use that attack very often. Like I say, I mainly use the primary attack with the Skylander, but yeah, and his design is really cool. I like that he's like a tiki and like has like the staff. I just think he's really cool and really interesting Skylander. So yeah, that's why he is my number 3 pick. And in number 2 is Pinata. So Pinata was a villain in Trap Team originally, and he's my favorite villain for sure. And now he was brought back in Imaginators and is a Skylander now. So I really do like his design, and that's a lot of the reason why he's number 2. Is he's such a colorful Skylander, which is something that you see a lot, but not to the extent and that Pinata is. Like, he has all these colors, and they go so well together. His attacks are pretty basic. I'm not going to get too much into them. But I do like his primary, actually, where he slams the lollipop or whatever, because I think you can change what he slams down. I'm not sure if that was in Trap Team or Imaginators. I'm thinking it was Imaginators, though, where he can... It doesn't make a difference what you use to slam down with the primary, but I know that it can change. But yeah, so Pinata's my number 2. Really one of my favorite designed Skylanders. Probably my favorite designed Skylander, I would say. So yeah, he is number 2 on my list. And number 1 on my list, which is a Skylander that nobody is going to see coming. I don't think a lot of people know that this is my favorite Skylander, and it's one of the most forgotten Skylanders, which makes me upset because it's a really cool Skylander. And my number 1 Skylander is Cobra Cadabra. Yeah, I know, nobody saw that coming. At least it wasn't Trailblazer, I guess. And anyway, Cobra Cadabra is a Trap Team core, which is a lot of the reason why he got forgotten. I mean, let's be real here. Most people cannot name all of the Trap Team cores. I could personally, but that's just me being a super fan. But on to Cobra Cadabra. His design being like a cobra who's in a basket with like the mist around him is really cool. I think one of my favorite parts about him is his design, for sure. And his figure is really cool too. He's like playing his flute. Anyway, his attacks are, he has a flute, which he could just shoot out little spears, which is just a regular primary attack, as I said. But if you hold it down, he can actually like summon a bit of like magic, which like you can like move around to try and damage enemies. And a lot of this Skylander Cobra Cadabra is how like he like uses music, and like that's like a lot of his attack, which I like, and it's really cool. So like music plays when you use that attack because he's like playing the music, I guess. And it's kind of like a lot of his Skylanders like Charming Cobra, which is like something that like you've seen in like media and stuff. Obviously, like you've seen the Cobra Charming, and so he is the Cobra and he's playing music. So that's kind of a lot of, I guess, where they got the basis for the Skylander, which I really think is cool because it kind of adds another layer into the character. So Cobra Cadabra, what else I like about him is that he can basically, like, he has the other attack where he shoots out of baskets. That's a really cool attack. I really think that that's an underrated attack of his, because I feel like a lot of people just use the primary attacks and don't delve into the other attacks, but that's a really cool attack. And then he also has where he just has like little mini babies, which is probably my favorite iteration of babies other than like Sonic Boom, because you see a lot of Skylanders like Double Trouble, Sonic Boom. Who else can summon babies? I know you guys are screaming at me, but I know that there are more Skylanders that can, and I'm not thinking of them. I'm trying to think of them, but I'm not sure exactly which ones right off the top of my head. Oh, it'll probably come to Bad Juju. So yeah, so my point being that other Skylanders summon baby versions of themselves, but Cobra Cadabras are one of the most useful in my opinion because they kind of create like a little circle around them, and yeah, they can just damage enemies better in my experience. Like the Double Trouble babies don't do a lot. I mean, Sonic Boom is probably my favorite iteration, especially because of the Series 2 Sonic Boom's Wow Pow. Like you can combine all the babies into one giant one, which is really cool. But on to Cobra Cadabra, I do like his like baby throwing attack. I'm sure you're seeing it on screen right now because it makes more sense when you're actually looking at the attack as opposed to me just calling it a baby throwing attack. But yeah, Cobra Cadabra, my favorite Skylander by far. Very underrated in my opinion. And so yeah, that's my list of my top 10 favorite Skylanders. Thank you for watching this video. If you've enjoyed this, please check out my other Skylanders videos and subscribe for more Skylanders content. This month I'm uploading every Thursday and Sunday with fan requested videos, so stay tuned for that. This is only the second video out of 8 of my fan requested videos, and this month in particular will all be Skylanders content, but in the future I will be occasionally posting other random videos with random topics, not necessarily relating to Skylanders. Thank you for all of the support you guys have been giving me, and let's try to get to 300 subs, because I'm really, really close. That would mean the world to me. Thank you guys. I'll see you in the next video.